Hi, welcome to our podcast. My name is Judy Durst, and I'm the Director of Education for the New Hampshire Association of Insurance Agents. With me today is Mark Trombly from Hospitality Insurance Company. Mark will be presenting a Q&A session during our upcoming professional development days. Mark, tell us
Yes,
a little bit about your background and your company.
sure. Thanks, Judy. I appreciate the opportunity. Well, I've been in the business for 37 years, so quite a long time. I've worked all over New England, worked in personal lines, commercial lines, worked for a professional medical liability carrier, and now here with hospitality insurance on the liquor liability side. So kind of a rounded background. I've worked in underwriting, I've worked in claims. I've been with hospitality for the last 3 years as the director of marketing. So a new area for me, but really enjoy it with the company. It's an area of the insurance that I haven't covered before, so it's always fun to learn some new things. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, what about hospitality? How long have they been around? You
Sure.
know,
Hospitality started out originally as the JOA for liquor liability in the state of Massachusetts for their first, I believe it was 30 years. And then by an act of the legislature, they were converted to a mutual company, beginning just writing liquor liability insurance. Since then, they've also formed Hospitality Insurance Group, which is the parent company for our other company in the other states we're in, which is called Hospitality Insurance Company. The company's in 7 states. We're in all of New England except for Maine. And then we also write in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. So that's the kind of the evolution of the company over the last many decades.
great, excellent. So, what are you seeing for trends in liquor liability litigation?
Well, there's about 3 or 4 different areas I wanted to touch on during this talk. One of them is after midnight business. And it's funny, your parents always said nothing good happens after midnight. And we've been a poster child for that, looking back a few years. So we've tightened some underwriting guidelines there. About 70% of our claims actually happen on Friday and Saturday nights after midnight. So that's part of the market. I think we see it with our competitors too. Some have withdrawn from the market. Many are not writing accounts that are open after midnight or providing lower limits. And those are some of the combinations of things we're doing. We want to stay in the market, but we do underwrite those differently than we used to several years ago. Another area has been the legalization of marijuana. There's really not a great test for that. So if somebody is drinking, they may not have been overserved with alcohol, but if they've also been using marijuana and they're driving later, get pulled over, cause an accident, whatever, there's not a great test for that. So that could impact our area on the liquor liability because it may all be thrown in our lap saying the person was overserved when really they're impaired from using the marijuana. So that's kind of a slippery slope we're on with that whole area right now. Something else we've seen is we've had a new endorsement on our policy. We've seen a lot of claims for infringement of patent and things like that, or copyright, where people are putting photos on their websites to promote their businesses. And they're showing people that they don't have a permission to show. They may put a celebrity on there that's never been to the business or was there, and they're using it without their permission. So that's something we put a risk management piece out on. We've been trying to tell people not to do that. If they have anything out there, they should take it down. We started seeing claims on that early last year. So that's been a new area. Also, since we're talking to folks in New Hampshire, the whole situation, that horrible accident up in New Hampshire last year with the person driving the pickup truck towing a trailer, took down some motorcycle riders. The Massachusetts Registry has tightened up their whole situation down there, looking at out-of-state violations. So we think hopefully that's going to lead to having more drivers off the road, or because of bad driving records where they maybe were driving impaired before. But that was that type of situation where those people are still driving and not being caught by the registry puts a lot of claims back in our lap if they happen to. So we're happy to see the registry tighten up on that. And the third area is basically coming out of COVID. It's an area where you would now have takeaway cocktails, takeaway beer and liquor sales, or delivery of those, where you didn't have those just a year ago. So because we do cover that in our policy with our customers. So we haven't seen any claims yet. It's too early, but that may open up some new areas of liability as we go forward. So that's pretty much the areas that we're seeing. And that's just a general, things we've always seen in the past: over-serving or assault and battery claims, things of that nature.
Okay, underage serving and that type
Yep,
of thing.
yep, all those.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that New Hampshire allows for someone to get a drink and have it delivered to them. We have open container laws. We have all these different things. I just never thought about calling Tortilla Flats and getting a margarita to go and have
Yeah,
them deliver it. I just never thought
yeah.
of that.
That's actually all 7 states we're in now allow that. So that's something wasn't in any state, and then it happened in all 7 states that we write in right now that they can either go in and get them for a takeaway food order, or they can have it delivered. So hopefully the education is there for the delivery people, making sure they're checking IDs and leaving it with people that they should be leaving it with.
Wow. Okay. All right. All right. So this is going to be a Q&A session during our professional development day. So what kind of information do you hope to convey to the audience during that session?
Sure. Well, I think, just for hospitality's sake, just an overview of what we write. We get a lot of questions that I mentioned earlier. The company started out originally just writing liquor liability. I wanted to convey the message that we do more than liquor liability. We're happy to write that monoline, but we also offer a new CPP package so we can cover the GL, the property, and we can write excess limits on our own paper. So wanted to get that message out to folks. Also, the fact that we're an admitted carrier, and many folks, much of the business we write ends up in the E&S market, the excess and surplus lines market, and there is some confusion there. We get the question all the time, are you folks an admitted carrier? Which is important because there's no taxes, there's no fees on the business we write, and also we're backed up by the state guarantee funds in every state that we write in, and our policy forms are approved by the insurance departments. So, I wanted to get that across, the difference between the admitted markets and the E&S markets, and some of the things we can do and can't do there. Also want to talk about a new billing program that we have, something unique to the industry. We're the only ones doing it at this time. It's called Pay As You Pour. And if anybody's ever used a workers' comp Pay As You Go program, or the personal lines they have on the auto, Pay As You Drive, it's based on mileage. This is a similar program, and it's just taking the sales of the business. They report 26 times during the year, and they're paying for their liquor liability as they go. So it's just a monthly check-in and pay the bill that way. So it's a little bit different. There are no audits at the end of it. It's pretty much just a true up at the end of minor dollars. But by the end of the policy period, you pretty much should have paid for what you used. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out of setting up that first sales number when we're trying to set up the policy, determining what the sales will be for the next year for the customer.
Exactly. Wow, that's great. Well, it sounds like we're going to have some really good information coming about hospitality insurance and liquor liability and other things. And I really appreciate you taking the time today to talk about it. And for those of you who would like some additional information, join us for Professional Development Days, and Mark will be there with a Q&A session. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks, Judy. I appreciate the opportunity.
This podcast was sponsored by Liberty Mutual Safeco Insurance. Professional Development Days will be offered virtually April 1st, 6th, and 15th, and will feature questions and answers, fun and games, and continuing education courses. For more information on our Professional Development Days, Hospitality Insurance Group, or our sponsors, Liberty Mutual and Safeco, please check the description below. Thank you.